Hey everybody, Gears here, and I think this is part 3 of this action going on here, and we're just about finished, if not this video itself. Part of the trouble I stated in the previous video was, while this table is -1 degrees going in that direction, and at the time I had this more aligned in that direction, it was difficult to get this to sit at -1 while also keeping this at -1 while simultaneously holding this in place and marking everything. And near impossible, in fact. So with the help of these guys, the main idea down here is that the center of the ankle should be even all the way through, and within a piece of paper's thickness like this right here, it pretty much is. These stacks of wood right now, they're under pressure, so they're compressed. If I move them over here, they are not compressed, but they do touch. Consequently, while this black line here is definitely shy of there, once I remove the compression, it pretty much lines up, and I should be within a millimeter, maybe 2 millimeters distance. No, definitely a millimeter. 2 is way too much. So my next step here is remove the rod from the ankles, pull the leg out. One of these holes here, well, there were 2. I have to re-drill the second one. So I'll put the bolt through this and this, screw it into place with a small screw, drill the second bolt hole, attach the other one and go from there and build it up in process. And at that point, this will be level because this line was set with a set square, so it must be perpendicular to the entire thing. Problem solved. One issue though coming up is that this board here is glued into place and it's got a step in there, so I can't quite securely put a screw through this lip going around the edge here because the distance is really not too much, as you can see right there. It's barely maybe an eighth, not even a quarter inch possibly. It might be a quarter inch. So there's very, very little ledge, so I would have to screw in diagonally. Rather than do that, I have some little square chunks of wood. There's a couple. So I'm going to glue and screw these down at the corners and on the sides, so this thing will be securely in place. At that point, the leg is set, these legs are set, and it's a matter of setting them at their proper angle. And oddly enough, scarily enough, so what you do is you take a piece of this angle iron, or angle aluminum in this case, attach it there on the leg, screw a couple holes up there to hold this guy in place, throw some notches on the metal, throw some notches in your metal, put that over there, and that is enough, theoretically, to secure the leg in place so that it never goes anywhere. If it's true or not, we'll find out. I'll start having to ask some questions around. But other than that, we're in 4 minutes, so let's see if I can get the next segment of video in under a minute or 2. So if we come over here, put the ruler on the edge of the leg, we got just over 20 centimeters. Then if we come over here, put the ruler just on the edge of the leg, we got just over 20 centimeters. If it's off, it's by a layer of paint. So the ankle is centered on the other ankles, so we now know that dimension is correct. We saw that everything is on plane, so that's correct. Distance in the middle is correct. Distance front and back is correct, and distance up and down is correct. So this should be good, and this was definitely not easy. A lot of back and forth, taking the leg on and off, drilling, making mistakes. I definitely put a bad 3/8 inch hole through this thing once. And getting everything lined up and centered on the deck, oh my gosh. I don't even know that I could describe how I did it, and it's only a few minutes ago that I got it done. And even that was precarious. It was going back and forth, side to side. Right, so at one point, this turned into a bit of Swiss cheese. In fact, this is the original angle iron in here, and I was looking at putting a 4th hole into this. So I took out my only clean piece of angle iron, traced these holes onto there so that would line up, put this in. By that point, I had gotten these holes drilled through, so I used this bolt here, sprayed a big puddle of enamel paint onto my painting table there, dipped this in it, shoved it through, tapped the back side of this aluminum, so that way I had that mark, and then, let's see, I put this on the drill press, kind of like this, with the drill pacing down, drilled that hole through, put this back on, back and forth, on and off, putting the ankle through the metal rod here. Wow. Not easy, but it's done, so I'm happy about that. And I wish I could tell you really more about how I did it, but even here you can see I'm still not quite done because I got all these holes to drill and bolts to put in, but it's a little late at night, so I don't want to go making any more noise tonight at all. Just knowing that everything in here is pretty much all set, it just needs to be battened down. Then I need to take the leg off again, put the center foot on, put that back on. I can finally put the outer feet on. Yeah, it's... We'll see. I still got a long way to go. And even undoing these shoulders, I don't know how many times now, 4 or 5 of them, that definitely gets a bit tedious after a little while. And I did break this guy, unfortunately, so skin snaps may be out of our future, but we'll see about that. This is definitely in delicate condition, and I'm going to have to reinforce it from the top with a piece of metal or something to help protect it. And then that battery thing in there, that's new. I built it a little while ago, but we'll talk about that in a different video because this one is all about getting that center leg set, and it's finally done. Part 3 or 4, I don't even know anymore. Wow. Thanks for watching. See ya.